Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. It is 11:20, second video of the week, last trading session of the month of May. Going to jump right into it, kind of go over a couple things this week, and then for closing out this week, and then for next week, what we're looking at. Let me start off by saying some housekeeping first and foremost. For all of those individuals that I talk to on a regular basis, a little bit of humble pie is probably a good idea for everybody, including myself. These types of gains that we're making and types of profits we're making, they are not always going to be given. So if you're having success, I try to tell myself that make sure you take some profits on the way. Don't be greedy. Don't think that just because you're trading so well or your investments are working at such a high level of degree that you should raise the position's size moving forward. You only raise the size of your trades and positions when you've mastered the ability to trade. For me, I usually keep my position sizing about the same all the way through. That's just risk management. So I kind of wanted to start off with saying that because, it's great to hear how great everybody's doing. And, we're going to talk about Dell and how much money everybody made in Dell. And that's awesome. And I did well I did well. But, people have to understand that there's periods of time where these markets, you're going to appear to be like a genius, maybe even so much as to say that you're just going to hit a lot of your trades and you're going to feel the level of success. It's not always going to work this way. So just keep that in the back of your mind and be understanding that there will be a point in time that this flips and you need to be patient at that point and do a little bit of do less. So with that said, let's move right along. All right. I digress. Let's go into the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ today is up, all-time high again. What else is new? Whoa. What else is new? Okay. Bitcoin down, at least last time I checked. That is not Bitcoin. It's a Friday, guys. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Bitcoin down, 73. Not much to report back on that front. Gold is up. Ooh, gold is actually up substantially today, almost 2%. See, it found that support right at the 200. We talked about this for the last couple of weeks, and I said it's going to probably find some support level here. And again, finding that support, no surprise, bouncing right off of that. That's really looking, obviously your trigger point is above here. If you converging averages, all four averages look like they want to get stacked up. Gold, I'm still in the camp of 6,000, but this is boring for a lot of people. They think it moves too slow, especially in today's environment where everybody's in Micron and SanDisk and people are making 70, 80% in a month's time. They're like, this is too slow. Okay. Anyways. All right. There's that. Oil down again today. Very nice. A little bit more, almost 3%. By the way, this technically looks like a bear engulfing. I think this is going down under $80. I've been on record. I'm still short. Haven't covered any of my short. My short now is green. It fluctuated. I covered a couple times back here on this large drop and I've been adding my shorts, adding shorts, and I'm in the green again. So I'll move down here. I'll cover maybe a percentage of it. Man, I do such a terrible job putting this phone on silent. If you guys can excuse me 1 second. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, man, I'm all over the place here. All right, 3 minutes in and I'm a hot mess. Okay, let's go. All right, now let's talk about stocks. Let's talk about the most important thing we got here. My computer screen's freezing. Jeez Louise. All right, Dell. I'm going to start off with that because that's the winner and that's the one that everybody piled into. Just a magnificent trade. For just going back to account for what I've done is I bought back here. I sold a little bit here. I sold a little bit here. Yesterday, at the end of the day, I sold a little bit, but I did buy 330 calls to next Friday, and I went in on those, and I basically conveyed that message to a bunch of individuals that I text in real time. And for those of you that got in it, you know who you are. Congratulations. Probably one of the best trades of the year. My calls did make me 490% return. I closed them out this morning, as well as I sold another 15% of my shares. So I'm down to about a half position in Dell on shares. The calls worked out great. It was, monetarily speaking, the best trade of the year for me for 2026 on one trade specific. So that worked. For those of you that don't have calls and you own the shares, I'd be selling a piece here. I definitely would sell a piece here This is very extended now. Granted, their earnings were phenomenal earnings. But yeah, if you're not selling this, a little piece, I don't know. Okay. Moving right along, the Pinguino. I'm still in this trade. I got in last week. Pinguino up almost 8%, getting a little bit of the tailwinds from Dell. Sorry, I'm a little bit all over the place here. All right, so Penguin looks great. This is not financial advice, but rather for educational purposes. I think Penguin is still an entry point. I think you could still buy it today if you really wanted to. I don't see why not. Boeing, still in this. I mentioned this here when it was forming that shelf. I said, give it time, be patient with it, It's getting there, okay, guys? It takes time with some of these things to work out. This downward move, you see the volume kind of dried up, and you see it went upside down, basically meaning that it was drying out volume and sellers were getting exhausted and institutional buyers have already piled in. So long and short of it is long Boeing. And yeah, Boeing. Let me give you a play that's actionable that I did. Rocket Lab this morning dropped, started off down about 7% because Blue Origin had a spaceship blow up yesterday. That knocked down the whole sector from ASTS, Rocket Labs, Planet Labs. They all went down this morning, and they're down now. It's my opinion that this is an overreaction. And so with that, I have added back all of the shares that well, you know what? I didn't add back all of close. I was trimming on the way up, but I've added back quite a bit of shares this morning. So I think that is a buy the dip opportunity on an overreaction. But again, not really that far down. I mean, you're talking it's what was Tuesday's price. So it's not a huge drop, but I think this is an opportunity for those of you who are not in that and really want to own that. For the record, you know, that's my favorite name in this sector, but ASTS, another one, down massively. Obviously, from the Blue Origin blow up, you see how that's affecting it. So if you really want to buy one for a quick trade, that might be the one you might want to take a look at. Planet Labs, another one. I'm not in either one of these. I preference Rocket Labs. That's just the one that's near and dear to me. But you do you. I mean, listen, if you're looking for a quick trade, and ASTS would not surprise me to see this pop up 10, 15% on Monday. If you're looking for a day trade, and I might just go ahead and take a swing at a couple options on this. I haven't looked at the intrinsical value, the Greeks for options. I know I'm speaking Chinese to people. I might look at options with like a 120 strike price a couple weeks out for a quick pop, maybe just a little gamble. Actually, the more I think about it, it's coming to my head. I'm going to take a look at it. This might be something I might look at for a quick trade. All right, let's see what else we got cooking. So we talked about, Tesla. I got into Tesla earlier this week. It hasn't really done anything. It's just kind of buying time, though. I got to say, this looks fantastic on a chart basis. I think this is a buy opportunity. I'm down about 1 or 2%. I'm very patient here. I think Tesla, I set a 10% stop loss when I bought it. So Tesla is an opportunity, and I'm in that. Lilly, let me go into that. I sold my calls yesterday. So I cut my calls yesterday. I did great on those. I was out till November. I talked about, hold on one sec. Sorry. I sold my calls yesterday, took the profits. I don't own it anymore. I did buy a couple shares of my IRA actually on Tuesday or Wednesday. This is an opportunity for those of you that are looking for a pop as well. Here's the thing. You could bury Lilly in your IRA. It's going to get to $1,500 within a year, 2 years. You can take call options. They're expensive, over $12,000, $13,000 a piece. However, this is a buy opportunity, just throwing it out there. You see Eli Lilly's oral drug outperformed oral semaglutide. GLP-1s are the rage. They have an oral version on top of Retta, which is their triple antagonist, GLP-3. They're going higher. I don't really know how else to say it. I'm going to spare you the fundamentals. This is going higher. Buy it in your IRA, bury it, don't trade it. Probably more applicable to your style at that point, depending on what you're into. Anyways, okay, let's see what else we got. AMD having not a day. So with this bull market, I want to touch on that. Like, it does not, the tide does not rise all positions. So granted, we are having a bull rally and we're talking about things and having a lot of success, but make no mistake, it's not like you could buy anything and it's all going to go up. It doesn't work that way. So I know like a lot of people are like, well, you could buy anything in a bull. Yeah, right. It's still a stock picker's market. You need to be diligent with your picks and you need to make sure you're doing your due diligence. Anyways, enough of that rant. AMD down today. I'm not buying. I'm not selling. Just pointed it out. Surprising that it's down with Dell going up. Anyways, pointing out. I'm going to go into open just for a second because a lot of people ask me about this and a lot of people are buried in this. Look, I think this has made its low. I mean, these are, you could call this a triple bottom, double bottom. I think it's made its low. It's off the lows. It needs to get above here for real clearance. So if you're really looking for a trigger point and you don't own it, 601 would be the move. It's still a long way away from that. But with that said, for those of you who own it like me, I'm down almost 25% in this. So again, this has never been an intention of me trading it. It's been about me holding it and waiting for what I think is going to be the real move, and patience will pay. Just pointing it out. Okay. Let's see what else we got here today. Oh, Micron. How do we do a video without touching on Micron? I mean, so here's what I did. I have been selling and mentioning it to you guys for a while, selling, trading and selling. My thesis, how do I say this? That yesterday I did a little bit more research and I was going to buy $1,000 calls with the strike price of $1,000. I looked at it. I didn't like the implied move. I think this is on a beeline to $1,000. It's up today $45 to give you an idea. It was down yesterday. It was down like 905 or 910. I decided to double my position yesterday. Very unorthodox of me. The reason I'm doing that, so I could explain, is that position that I doubled, that purchase yesterday, I'm looking for it to get to $1,000, and I probably will trim that piece. The piece that I bought here, we'll see about that, but this is on a beeline to 1,000. It's not going to take long to get there. It could get there it could get there by Monday. So, I don't want to be a broken record. If you do not own a memory name, you probably want to own a memory name. And whether that's SanDisk, Micron, Seagate, or Western Digital, or Penguin, I'm going back to the Pinguino. The Pinguino is phenomenal. I think this is going to $100 a share. Yeah. Man, I'm all over the place today. Okay, what else we got? Oh, Intel. Intel not really doing much. Very surprising. But this is okay because it's kind of basing out. Be patient. Look, it's very extended over the 200 and the 50. And I agree. And I think in order for us to get the move we want, we need some sideways action of digestion and some drying out volume. Volume's drying out. Actually, you could see it the last 3 days drying out. Just keep your eye on that. I own it, as you know. I'm probably up a couple percent. Yeah, Intel. I bought that like 2 weeks ago. What else? Oh, Litecoin, Lumentum. So I bought more shares yesterday because it was at the 50, and I got to tell you, I'm kind of scratching my head. I really thought this was going to bounce here. I will have to cut this soon if it doesn't bounce. I haven't lost any money on this trade. I actually made money because I sold. I sold before earnings piece of this. I've trimmed a couple times. So I'm in the green. But if this doesn't bounce back above here, I'm 100% going to cut this. Granted, I am a big proponent of this sector of data center build-outs. So I do think they, like Sienna, another one, down again also. This whole sector's down. It could be some rotation, and I always talk about rotation in the different names is super healthy for a substantial bull run. But yeah, I don't love the fact that this just fell under the 50. And I bought yesterday to add shares, and those shares are underwater now, 3.5%. And I don't love that. So I'm going to have to keep this one on a tight leash because I'm not interested in compounding any losses. So this one so far, it's restricted. I'm not advising to buy. All right. So we touched on a bunch of stuff. I just wanted to go into something and kind of mention something for the bears. So there's a lot of bears of people I talk to that are always like, we're so close, everything's going to fall, everything's going to crumble, it's all going to implode. I mean, look, that very well could happen. I'm not saying that that's not going to happen. And I do agree that stocks are extended over their 200-day average. And that's why I talk about selling little pieces of it to ring your internal cash register. But I want to say, looking at Japanese market this morning, they're up 5% in total this week. I mean, that is huge, the whole Japanese market. And it further cements my thesis and my belief that this is a global bull run right now. I mean, you're having a bull market globally speaking. And that really, through past precedent, bodes well with the overall trajectory of where the market is going. And for those of you that are bears, congratulations. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not in this market right now. The only bear I'm in is oil. I'm long. I'm very exposed to the market, but I am taking profits. So I want to just make it clear to you guys, yes, we are extended in some names. It does not mean we can't get more extended. Just when I say stocks go down, they could go further down. And I always tell people when they try to catch falling knives, what I would say is we are, by my metric, we're about 35% to 45% into this uptrend. So I anticipate another 6 to 12 weeks of a run. This is just my expectation. I'm not predicting. It's my expectation. So with that, I trade and work around timing. Timing is everything. You have to know, I'm like a broken record. You have to know when to accelerate and when you put the foot on the brakes. And so right now I have accelerated for the better part of the last 5 weeks. May is going to end up, I don't know the number, but May has been tremendous as an overall month. So with that said, those are pretty much my closing statements. I gave you some opportunities that we're going to look at. I think Broadcom reports next week. That's going to be interesting. We're going to see if Trump and Iran make a deal over the weekend. I think we're going to get something positive there. I'm very much paying attention to the macro micro aspect, and the 10-year Treasury bond has started to come down some, which is a really good sign. Kevin Warsh just has only been in office for a week as the Fed chair, and already this is coming down. So a positive, not that he's done a single thing. I will say this, if a deal gets signed with Iran and Trump, I would anticipate this going down to the 70s by next week. So if you're short oil, great. If you're not short oil, I don't know what you're doing. All right, guys, that's my rant. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week. And practice risk management.